Hey guys, coming to you from the recording studio of Freedom Church on State Road 207. I am looking forward to us getting back to hanging out. So do me a favor, ask your parents and grandparents if they're comfortable with us getting together Wednesday, May 13th. I would like for us to get together. We can do it by text message and talk. Maybe we grab a bite to eat and go to a park. Maybe we do it right here at the church. I grab some Chick-fil-A and we eat here at the church. Maybe we find something else to do. Whatever you guys are comfortable with. See what your parents are comfortable with, what your family's comfortable with. If they're cool with it, let's get together and let's do something. If they're not, let's respect their decision for us to not do that quite yet. I'm ready. I'm willing whenever everybody's comfortable with it. Today I want to talk to you about knowing your roles. When Alexa and PJ were small, I decided that I wanted to try and be the go-to parent. I almost turned it into this silly little competition with Tara that maybe she didn't even realize was going on at sometimes. They needed something, I jumped to action and ran to them. I just wanted to be the one that they called every time they needed something. I wanted to overcome these gender roles and it's mom, it's mom, it's mom, it's mom. I wanted to jump in and be that go-to parent. So one day, PJ's like 5, 6 years old. She's running out the back door, and our house had siding on it at the time, and as she slammed the back door, which is no longer in existence because Alexa's bedroom is now what used to be our garage. And so she slams the door, and lo and behold, her finger was still in the door, and when it slams, it cuts the end of her finger off. There's blood squirting everywhere. I'm standing there and I witness it. Her fingertip is laying on the floor. I am not cool, calm, or collected whatsoever, but I'm trying to be that way on the surface. So I grab a towel, put it on her finger, tried to get it to quit bleeding. It's gushing blood, squirting, trying to get it to stop doing that. Tara grabs her, she's hugging her, consoling her. We're sitting on the floor with her, trying to get her to calm down. I'm got my back turned. I'm trying really hard not to realize that my child's from the fingernail on, like all this is laying on the ground. And she looks at us and says, we're telling her it's going to be all right, it's going to be okay. She looks me dead in the eye and says, where's Alexa? I was crushed. All that I've done, and you want to know where your sister is. Your mom's here, your dad's here, you're looking for your sister. Fast forward to today. Alexa's 19, PJ is 16. We are doing life, watching them grow into amazing young ladies. At times it's painful because they're teenagers and they're human. But I have done youth ministry for 25 years. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of teenagers through all types of issues. Breakups, parents divorcing, trouble with friends, trouble with sports, addiction, school, friendships, depression, anxiety, all types of things. I've walked through all these things. So you know what happens when one of my teenage daughters has an issue? They go to their mom. And they talk to her. And then Tara comes to me. And sometimes she shares it with me, sometimes she doesn't. A lot of times she ends up just saying everything's fine, and I take it as everything's fine. Sometimes she says, I don't really know what's going on. Here's what's happening. And she shares it with me. Excuse me. And as she shares it with me, I counsel her a little bit on how I would handle it. And I feel like I played a role in it. And it doesn't look like a frontline role, but I was a part of it. It's about knowing your role. The first time this happened, I was crushed. I was like, are you serious? They're not coming to me to talk. And then I realized that's something they want to talk to mom about. And because they want to talk to mom about that, the best thing I can do is back off and stay out of the way unless I'm asked to help out. And so knowing your role comes in very various ways. Today's verses is from 1 Timothy 4:12. Excuse me, it says, let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech and conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. In 1 Timothy, Paul is talking to Timothy. Timothy was a younger leader in the church. He was a young guy, and he was ready to start doing ministry. And Paul is saying, hey, you play a role. Be who God created you to be. Don't let someone say, I'm 40 years older than you. I'm not listening to you. Don't let that happen. Don't let them look down on you. Don't let them despise you. He needed to be the best version of who he was created to be in that time. Maybe your time hasn't come yet. Maybe your time is coming. Maybe you are in training by God to do something huge 20, 30, 40 years from now. Maybe he's ready to use you right now. Know that he is using you right now. It just may not feel that big. The NIV translation of this is, do not let anyone look down on you because you are young. Don't let them look down on you because you're young. Be respectful. Be 100% respectful to all adults. But be an example. Paul's saying, know your role. Be you. Spend time praying. Make sure you show some love to everyone who crosses your path. And find ways to serve in your church and in your community. Take up the offering. Help out in the nursery. Ask people how you can pray for them. Smile as often as you can. Be an example in the way that you talk. Be uplifting and positive. Remember our verses from a week ago. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there's anything excellent, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Focus on things that are true and are honorable and are just and pure. And don't get swept up in the gossip and the garbage that people like to spread. Just love on people and let people love on you. Be an example in conduct. Sometimes this means being respectful of other people's views. Right now, we're in the middle of this quarantine. Some people are wearing masks everywhere they go, social distancing, and not going anywhere they don't have to. Some people are cruising through life like it's perfectly normal, like everything's fine. We have to learn to respect other people's views on this, because where they are is where they are. And we don't need to be looking at them and saying, oh, well, you should be wearing a mask, or, oh, you look ridiculous with a mask on. Let them walk through this the way they need to, and respect them in that. How you feel, how you view things, even how you are raised may be different from the views of others. Respect those things. Be an example in love. Simply love on people. Give them your time. Be present when they're talking to you, and love on them. Be an example in faith. Paul is telling them, simply let your love for Jesus grow your walk with him, and in turn your faith will grow on its own. Don't follow someone else's example. Follow Jesus' example and make your faith your own. Next, it says, be an example in purity. The ermine is a furry white animal that looks like a weasel. Their white coats have been used to make royal robes through the centuries. Trappers realized that they pride themselves on cleanliness. They clean themselves 24 hours a day to keep their coat as white as possible, because their only mode of defense, if a predator is coming, is to blend in with the snow. So they normally live in areas, mountaintops, areas where there's a lot of snow. They have homes in the side of mountains, possibly in the side of trees. They build these homes with small holes so they can get in there. Nothing large can chase them in there. Hunters realized they can turn their dogs loose and chase after them, and they'll just go in those holes and they'll never come out. They're perfectly fine with never coming back out. But they also realized that if they find their holes, they find their homes, they go to the holes, the entry point to their homes, and they rub grease, black grease, around the edges. They can turn their dogs loose. They will chase those ermines. Those ermines will come to their home. They will see that black grease, and they'll continue to run. They will not go into their homes. They will not enter those entryways. Why? Because the cleanliness of their coat means so much to them. That's how passionately we should chase after purity. We should be willing to say, you know what, I would rather suffer the worst things possible than to lose my purity, because my purity is so much of who I am and so much of who I was created to be. Those ermines, they get it. Nope, not going in there. There's all kinds of dirt and grit and grime. Not doing it. I'm created to be pure and white. I'm going to remain that way. If it means I have to run from these things longer, I'm going to run from these things longer. Here's what I want you guys to know. As a teenager, you play a vital role in the ministries here at Freedom. I would not be taking the time to go to Chick-fil-A, to get food, to meet with you guys every Wednesday night if you weren't important to us, if you weren't vital to the ministries here. You are not the future of the church. You are today's church. You guys bring energy. You guys reach out and talk to each other better than any other group. And you guys are just happy to be here talking about Jesus and hanging out. You set such a great example for us. Continue to be you. Continue to do you. Be the best example of who God created you to be. Love on one another and know that we love you guys. Have a great day. God bless.